Good morning, Year 9, and thank you for your continuous work in building a digital portfolio for sustainable biomes as we continue to explore effective ways to grow crops, some of the issues facing crop production and growth in Australia, and how we might continue to be sustainable. In order to continue to build our knowledge and understanding around this topic, we will be working on an extended response question over a number of lessons over the next week. This question will be: assess the impact of environmental issues on crop production in Australia. We will be going through the writing cycle in order to complete this effectively. This writing process will be undertaken over a number of lessons and go through the cycle of the writing process, include pre-writing, planning and outlining, which includes a process of research, drafting and writing your first draft, and editing through a feedback process. And that's really important as we continue to move through your studies. Today's focus will be on the pre-writing, planning and outlining phase. And the learning intention for today is that I will research the environmental issues impacting the production of a chosen crop in Australia. So we'll be looking at a general overview of how different environmental issues impact crop production in Australia. And then we'll be going more specifically where you will get to choose either sugar, wheat, or rice and have a look at how different aspects impact the crop production in Australia. To be successful, you will use a number of websites to explore this issue and complete and submit the tables below. This is a really important process in the writing cycle because you'll be using this information to compose and begin to write your extended response as we move through towards the next lesson. Before we continue, it is really important to understand the overall question, because it is this question that will be driving our extended writing that we are working towards completing. The question is: assess the impact of environmental issues on crop production in Australia. It is really important to break down this question into the key verbs and the key terms. And we have identified the key verbs as being assess and impact. Key verbs are also known as directive terms. They are called directive terms because it gives you direction about what it is in the question that you're actually looking at. And in understanding what the word assess and impact mean, you can understand how much information you need to include and the level of detail required to support your key thesis statements and evaluative arguments. Another skill that you'll be building through this writing process. It is also really important to have a look and understand the key terms, which are environmental, issue, crop production, and Australia. And it is these key terms, along with the key verbs, that gives you the boundaries of what it is I need to include and write to successfully complete this question. We are in planning to write, we will be breaking down the question in a number of smaller parts. We will have to complete a variety of tables in order to frame your research so you can easily retrieve it later on when we put it all together. The first step is to have a look at environmental issues in general. We can explore what are the major environmental issues in relation to crop production in Australia today. And I've put some examples here for you to choose, although you can choose anything you like as long as it's an environmental issue. These issues could be soil health, drought, biosecurity, bushfires, pest management, chemicals and pesticides, climate change or climate, or anything else that you can think of.